Hi, this is Gail, and today I want to share a devotion that I've called Absolutely No Comparison. Sometimes people try to compare Islam with Christianity. And I think this is something that's growing in our world, especially when we mention the violence of Islam, and people will say, well, wait a minute, Christianity has some violence in their history. Now, it's true that there was some violence during the Reformation period. It wasn't all strictly associated with Christianity. There were also a lot of cultural things going on. But it's a section of history which Christians acknowledge is wrong. We know that by the teachings of Christ that it's wrong to be violent. In contrast, violence, deception, and warfare have characterized Islam from the beginning to the present. Jesus said we should love our enemies. Mohammed, who ordered the killing of thousands, said, I have been ordered by Allah to fight against the people until they testify that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and whoever changed his Islamic religion, then kill him. It's really important that we understand the difference between Jesus and Mohammed. And I encourage you to go to the description that I have of this video, because it will give you the online link and you'll see the video on there. And then it will also have lots of resources linked that you can look up specific things that I'm talking about and also just confirm what I'm talking about. Another area that people sometimes try to compare is they try to compare submission to the treatment of women in Islam. That's another ignorant claim. Christian submission is about leadership, not value. Scripture clearly explains that women are equal to men and should be treated with respect and even protected because they are physically weaker than men. The prophet Muhammad said the majority of people in hell will be women. He said it takes 2 female witnesses to equal 1 male witness. And the Quran commands husbands who think their wives are not behaving right should, and this is a quote, advise them and forsake them in bed and finally strike them. No wonder Islamic domestic abuse is so prominent in America. Again, if you go to the devotion online, you will see resources that explain this. Christians aren't perfect, but Christianity doesn't approve or promote violence or abuse. Islam does. We must be aware of the propaganda. Social media and even governments and institutions often hide these things. They don't want to criticize Islam, and they are afraid, actually, of criticizing it at times. Also, if you Google a question about the violent Islamic laws, you'll find large numbers of Islamic sites attempting to explain these laws away. But you need to find the resources that are honest, the ex-Muslim sites, the Christians who used to be Muslims, and other sites that accurately understand and accurately teach what the Quran does say. But the life and the words of the Prophet Muhammad also prove that the Quran is violent. He was violent. There's been violence throughout history, and violence against women. And that's the true character of Islam. Now you might say, why are you sharing about Islam? This is a Christian devotional. Well, I've started doing this because I want Christians to understand Islam is not merely a false religion. It is a religion that desires to convert or to kill Christians and Jews. We need to understand that purpose, and we need to pray for Muslims that they will come to know the God of love and the God of peace, not violence. And obviously, not all Muslims are involved in fraud and deception and hate and violence, but that is the things that their prophet and their holy writings do promote. We need to pray that these Muslims would see that there is a God of love and there is a God of honesty. So I encourage you to be informed and don't be taken in by propaganda, and don't be afraid of that which God says is evil.